Hello lovelies, it's Sarcasm the Sickness, and today I'm bringing you another speed drawing. This time, for this idea, I went on Twitter, and I didn't know what to draw, so I was like, I don't know what to draw, help me. And a couple people answered, but I decided to pick the answer, or the suggestion from my friend, the Average Joe, who decided that I should draw a Carnivine. And part of the reason I picked that is because it's a freaking Venus flytrap Pokemon. You know how boss Venus flytraps are? They're plants that eat other things. Like, that's so intense. It's so intense. I want one. I don't know how to take care of one, but I would figure it out. You know, it's probably not a good idea, though. I had a bonsai tree once, and that thing died. Apparently they need a lot more water than I was providing the poor thing. But oh well. I'm drawing a Carnivine, so yee. And I think Venus flytraps are cool, so I decided to give it like a kind of a slightly creepy twist to it. It's probably not as creepy as it could have been or should have been, but oh well, it was fun to do anyway, so I am sharing it with you guys. And today, I'm not really sure what to talk about. Maybe we should talk about, I don't know, do you guys have like a special place? Like, not like weird, like a special, like a place on the planet that you like to go to that, I don't know, that kind of makes you feel like centered, like makes you feel whole. Basically since I was born, I had been visiting a place called Eagle Island, which was up in New York State in the Adirondacks area, and it was a Girl Scout camp. And I guess from her childhood, my mother had been volunteering there, and you know, like they have, like, you know, during the summer they have Girl Scout camps, of course, and you know, they have the counselors and they have all the little girls and stuff. But at the beginning and end of the season, they have a work weekend where they ask for volunteers to come up, and they'll provide food for them, but the volunteers come up and like help, you know, either set up or take down things on the island. Like, you know, we go around to every campsite and take down like all the tents and stuff, and we go and just clean up general things, or like, you know, go around the island and pick up all the trash that's washed up or that the girls have dropped everywhere or whatever. You know, it was that kind of thing. And I never actually went there as a Girl Scout. Like, I never actually went there for camp or anything. But I did go up for these work weekends, and those were just, these are basically some of the best memories that I have stored up in my little head of mine. And you know, it was big for me because it was, for one, I was up there with my family, and so that's always going to be dear to me, is just spending time with my family and everything. But then the island itself was absolutely beautiful. The Adirondack, I believe it's called Adirondack Lake. It was a pretty massive lake. It is, sorry, not was, it's still there. It's a pretty massive lake that has a couple different islands in it. And, you know, it's up in New York State, so it's not like tropical islands. They're just, you know, just like islands with regular old trees on them and stuff, and regular old plants. But, it was just a really beautiful place in general, and life just seemed to flourish up there. It really did. Even though the air was usually pretty crisp and, you know, just a little chilly, just because, like, when we would go up, it would be either, like, the tail end of the spring or, like, just the beginning of the fall. So, like, that was when the weather was either turning to be warm or turning from being warm to being cold again. So it was never, like, I was never there in the middle of the summer when it would be probably really nice to be up there, but that didn't really bother me so much. On the island, there was like a couple different campsites that, you know, were just scattered about in different areas and stuff, and then there was a main camp, of course, which is basically where we who were doing like the work weekend stuff would stay, because there was no reason for us to be out like on the other parts of the island, obviously. And it was just, I don't even know where to, the problem is I don't know where to start about talking about this. It was just such a wonderful place. You know, the trees were, oh my gosh, the trees were so tall. There was one year that there was a huge nest in one of the trees by the boathouse. And up in that nest were there were ravens, like literal ravens. Like these big, massive black birds with, like, you know, like when the light shines on them just right, their feathers actually look kind of purplish bluish. Oh my god, they were absolutely gorgeous. but you know, it was like one giant like mom raven and then like 3 still pretty massive baby ravens. And oh my god, did they make such a fuss. They were always hungry, so they were always screaming at the top of their little lungs like, oh my god, I need worms and whatever else ravens eat. I don't know what ravens eat. What do they eat? I imagine it's probably something more intense than worms. But, oh my gosh, it was just fantastic. It was fantastic. That was probably one of the only real, like, wildlife experiences I had up there, just because, in general, it was an island, and, what I've heard is that over the winter, the lake freezes over, and deer actually walk across the lake to get to the island and hang out there during the winter, and then they leave before the water unfreezes. And the only reason that I even have proof of that, or the only reason I even believe that, I suppose, is because one year I found a deer's antler, like a shed antler, and it was so cool. I don't know where it is now. I wish I still had it. I don't know where it is, but I kept that for the longest time because it was like the literal coolest thing. Like, you know, I was walking around, I think on my own, and I picked it up and was like, oh my gosh, I have to show somebody, and like ran back to home camp and was like, look at what I got! So cool. I guess in particular there is one spot on the island that I guess was my favorite spot. It was my favorite spot to be, and it was pretty close to main camp, so I never felt like weird hanging out there, because like if there was any kind of problem, my parents would know, or my parents would be able to find me pretty quickly, or you know, if the lunch bell rung, I'd be able to, you know, hear it and get back to there pretty quickly. But it was called Mariner's Rock. I never really learned why it was called that, but it was. And it was this rock that kind of jutted out from between the trees and stuff. So it kind of hung over the water a little bit. It jutted out from between the trees, hung over the water, and it gave the perfect view of the island across from ours, and a pretty decent view of the mainland, which mainland is just, you know, New York State, really, just back onto the, you know, regular ground, I guess. But this spot is so special to me because we would watch the sunset from there, and I can vividly remember the sun just, you know, kind of slipping behind the trees and everything, and it was fantastic. It was absolutely beautiful. I wish I could describe it to you. I wish I had pictures on my computer to even show you. It was fantastic. And one year in particular, I guess the way they described it to me, and I still don't really know if this is correct or the science behind this or anything, but they said that that another arm of the Milky Way galaxy was crossing over ours so we could see it. And I mean, I'm inclined to believe them because we saw so many stars that day. There was, oh my gosh, like, it was like having the whole universe at the tip of my fingers. Like, I could almost reach it, it felt like. And that night, the moon was so massive, and it lit up just the entire lake. And even better, like, after all that amazing stuff, that night Mars was visible. So among all these brilliant stars and behind this giant moon, and just there was this one bright red looking star, and oh my gosh, just all of it. Like, I wish I could go back to that moment. I wish I could go back and see it all again, you know? I wish I could share it with you. I wish I could share it with anybody. I mean, me and my family were all there together, so we have this memory together. But it's almost like, it almost feels selfish to have all of that beauty locked up in my head and not be able to really, like, really show it to you guys, or really share it with you guys. But, I don't know. It was a really great place to be, Eagle Island. And I wish I could go back, but due to legal things, it's not actually open anymore. So there's no more work weekends, there's no more Girl Scout camps, and it's really all a shame because it seems cruel to keep that kind of beauty from the world. All because of what? Like petty money issues? It's stupid. It's just really stupid. And it makes me wonder how many other things are out there, how many other beautiful locations and wonderful scenery is locked away because somebody is like, well, I bought this, so now you can't see it. You know, it's like, how selfish can we be as human beings to decide that we've claimed one part of this land, one part of this earth, and that nobody else gets to touch it, like, at all? I mean, I understand protecting it, but then cutting it off from the world? It's just tragic. I don't know. This is one of those things, like, there are things in this world that I feel very strongly about. Eagle Island is one of those places, one of those things that just, I'm passionate about it, I really am. It holds so many wonderful memories for me. I made so many friends up there. I had so many wonderful times up there. There were times where, there were things that, like, I learned there that I carry with me today. One of these things was, my parents decided I was finally old enough to travel the island on my own. And, you know, it's an island, so, like, how lost can I really get kind of thing. But they did tell me that if I ever got lost, if I ever lost the trail, if I ever didn't know where I was, that as long as I walked straight in one direction, I would find the water, you know? And when I found the water, the trail would be there, and I would be able to follow the trail back to main camp. So no matter how long it took, I was never really lost, and I would always be able to find my way home. And in a way that kind of holds with me today, I feel like when you're lost, when you're scared, when you're alone, as long as you keep pushing forward, you'll eventually find something that you recognize again, or find, you know, stable ground again, or find something that you can hold on to that will eventually lead you back to the place where you want to be. And that means something to me. That means a lot to me. That means that as long as I don't sit down and give up, as long as I don't hide away and cry, as long as I just keep pushing forward and I keep working towards, you know, towards a solution, that it's gonna happen. Maybe not in the way I expected it to, but I'll be able to find my way home. I'll be able to find my way to wherever it is that I need to be at that point. So, I don't know. I wonder, do you guys have that special place where you feel you have, like, these, maybe you do have, you know, wonderful memories there, maybe you don't, but just somewhere that you can go to, or maybe used to go to, that made you feel like everything was going to be okay? Because that's what this was for me. That's what Eagle Island was for me, was everything felt like it was going to be okay. Everything was in balance when I was there. I really do hope you guys have that kind of spot. Like, and it doesn't have to be, like, in nature. I don't know, maybe it could be, like, at your grandmother's house or at your friend's house. Maybe it's just somewhere where you feel so safe and so secure that life just doesn't seem so bad anymore. If you haven't already, please leave a like on this video. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't, if you're not subscribed, maybe you could subscribe, or at least go check out some of my other videos and, I don't know, see what you think. This is basically what I do, is I just talk to you guys, and I draw pictures. So I don't know. It's kind of a good time, I think, anyway. But yes, I really do hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I'm sorry for not uploading, like, the past 2 or 3 days or whatever, but things happen, and I'm trying to make up for that now. Alright, guys. I really do hope that you have a good one, and I will see you in the next video, or something. I don't know. Alright, guys, I wasted enough time. See ya.